So today's video is kind of like a follow-up video to a video I recently posted where I shared with you the trick of going through and using this major scale shape anywhere on the E string or the A string to figure out what notes are in each key. And so today's trick is using basically that same methodology, but now we're going to use it to figure out what chords are in each key. So just to recap what that rule was, if I take this pattern of, say, I start on my middle finger, all my fingers are within a span of 4 frets here. So my pointer finger is kind of reaching for the 2nd fret, my pinky finger is kind of reaching for the 5th fret, and if I go middle, pinky, pointer, middle, pinky, pointer, ring, pinky, and if I do that anywhere starting from the E string or the A string, I will play the major scale. That is like the guitar equivalent. It's the guitar translation, if you will, of this, you know. It's just a lot easier to reach it all in that smaller frame. But so we looked at that, and we looked at the rule that as you go up the letters in the scale, so say we're in the key of F, if I went F, G, A, B flat. We covered that all of the rules have to go all of the letters have to go consequentially. If you haven't seen that video and are feeling confused by anything I'm saying, I highly recommend going back to take a peek at it. But basically, this has to be B flat, not A sharp, because in the key of F, if I go 1, 2, 3, and I go F, G, A, I can't have A and A sharp in the same scale. It has to be B flat. The letters have to keep going up consequentially. So, and sorry if you can hear my cat having the time of her life playing with springs in the background. But, so using this, we can figure out the notes in any key. So in the key of F major, we have F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, and then F again. And now, the beauty of this is when we stack these notes in thirds, which means we would go F, up 3 notes, 1, 2, 3, we get A, and then 3 from there we get 1, 2, 3, we get C. So if I have F, A, and C, I get F major. If I do that from the 2nd degree of the scale, or G, I would get 1, 2, 3, there's B flat, and then I get 1, 2, 3, I get D. That gives me a G minor chord. So on and so forth. If we do that for each degree of the scale, I know that my first note in the scale, or in this case F, will be major. My 2nd note will be minor. My 3rd note also gives me a minor chord. My 4th, B flat, gives me a major chord. My 5th, C, gives me a major chord. My 6th, D, gives me a minor chord, and then my 7th, E, gives me a diminished chord, which is flat 3 and a flat 5 above a root, and then I'm back at major. So I get this major, 2 is minor, 3 is minor. Sorry, I went too far. So, 1 is major, 2 is minor, 3 is minor, 4 is major, 5 is major, 6 is minor, 7's diminished, and then I'm back at 1 major. And the beautiful thing about this is that if you can memorize that sequence, that 2 is minor, 3 is minor, 4 and 5 are major, 6 is minor, 7 is diminished. If that sounded like a bunch of gibberish, you can of course rewatch this bit of the video or just, you know, let it stew in your brain a little bit longer. But if you can memorize that sequence, you can then apply that to any other scale to figure out what chords are in that key. So for example, say we went from F, say we go around the circle of fifths, we go to B flat. If I use this trick of, there's my B flat, and then I have B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, and then B flat again. I know that because this follows the same sequence and is a major scale as F, The sequence of chords stays the same. It's just the root of those chords changes to being a B flat. So I would have 1 major as B flat. C is going to be minor. That's my 2 minor. D is going to be minor. That's my 3 minor. 4 major in this case is E flat. 5 major is F. 6 minor is G minor. We get A diminished as my 7 diminished. Then I come back to 1 major, and then obviously I could go back down if I want to, but let's do it in one more key just to kind of prove this. And let's say we go to the key of, let's do the key of E for fun. So if I'm in the key of E, I'm going from my 7th fret here on my A string. I have the notes E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, and then E. Now if I were to put these all to chords, what I end up with is E is my 1 major chord, F sharp minor is my 2 minor, G minor is my 3 minor, I get A, which is my 4 chord, B is my 5 chord, then I'm going to get C sharp minor here as my 6, my 7 diminished, D sharp diminished is my 7 diminished, and then lastly, I'm back in my E major. So that same trick, as long as you apply those chord types to it. So 1 is major, 2 is minor, 3 is minor, 4 is major, 5 is major, 6 is minor, and 7 is diminished. If you use the trick from the previous video where you use that to find out what notes you have, you can then plug in these chord types, and then you will know what chords are in each key. And just like I said in the other video, one of my favorite ways to get students to work on this is to actually have them write out these different keys on a sheet of paper or on the notebook, or, you know, type it out in a Word document on their computer so that they have that information and they can reference it at a later date. But I really hope you found this lesson useful. If you did, I'd really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. It truly helps me out more than you know. If you want to take a guitar lesson with me, there's a link to get in touch with me down in the description there. I've been working with a bunch of you guys from YouTube lately, and it's been really fun to connect with people all over the world. If you want to support me and the channel, I have a link to my Patreon down below where you can get some exclusive perks like early access to videos. There's also links to purchase my video course on triads or my book that's full of scales and arpeggio diagrams. Last but not least, I've got new videos coming out every week, so I hope to see you in the next one. And until I do, I'll wish you a wonderful day, and I hope you have some fun playing the guitar. Thanks.